Hey, wacky teacherpreneurs. I am here with Jess, the whimsical teacher, and she is sitting in front of her TPT storefront. We took screenshots of yours looks so colorful. I love all the fonts. And all of your you have a lot of reviews, 3.2K reviews, 4,283 followers. If you want to see my minuscule story, you're gonna have to go to YouTube and find out how many I have. Not as many as Jess, that's for sure. But yeah, so we are here because Jess went to the TPT conference and has a lot to share with us. And I have lots and lots of questions. And I am in a new Airbnb, so sorry for the sound quality. Hopefully, the info is so awesome that you don't care how it sounds, the sound quality. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers. Okay, I am so excited for all the good info that Jess is going to share with us about what she learned at the conference in Las Vegas and all the, drama. And you're going to tell us some of that too, right? Okay, let's get started. So I didn't share these questions with you. I just quickly wrote them down. They're like what I'm most curious about. But I don't know. Do you want to start? Do you want to start do you want to just tell us a little bit about like day one? I don't know. Or do you want me to just ask you questions?
Yeah, just start asking me questions.
Okay, well, you updated me every day that you were there, like on Voxer, because we talk so much on Voxer. And it sounded to me like day one was the best, but I don't know, like I wasn't there. And I guess my most burning question is what was the best session you went to and why? And how will it help you grow your TPT store? And how could it help us grow our TPT store? That's my biggest, like, what was the best session? But I also want to know, like, in general, like about each day and your experience and stuff. So, which question do you want to add? I just am bombarding you with questions. I'm sorry. Lo siento.
Well, I just filled out this Teachers Pay Teachers like evaluation of the whole
Yeah,
conference. And they
cool.
asked us on there, they were like, what was your favorite session or sessions? And then which ones felt like a waste of time? Like, tell us everything, right? So I
Cool.
just typed all this out. So it's kind of fresh in my head. So I did go to this one session about freebies, and the presenter talked a lot about how she links a lot of paid resources on the first page of her freebie. And she kind of traced how she's made like $100,000 with her freebie. Because you can use these UTM codes to, see how the different links are doing. And she's made a lot of money just by linking paid products in her freebie. And I mean, I've kind of heard some stuff like that before, but I hadn't really seen the numbers on it and how powerful a freebie could be and like examples of good freebies. And like I always heard like, oh, the freebie should be the best example of your work, like the best, the best product, one of the best products in your store, like a full product. But I didn't think about linking all the paid products on the first page. And of course, a lot of this only works if you have like really good product lines, but it was very interesting. Her freebies were very, very cool. So just knowing the importance of the freebies. And then the other big takeaway, it kept coming up again and again through a lot of different sessions, is I guess TPT has been analyzing sales, and they're kind of like, I mean, they know sales are down, they know AI is influencing things. And so a really big thing that they've discovered in analyzing sales is that if a product doesn't have a good preview, and your preview should show every page of your product, every single one. It should not like you could have it like be a pic collage where you're just showing like, okay, you get these 20 pages and these 20 pages and these 20 pages, depending how big your product is. Like, but you really need to show almost everything in your product in the preview. Like people want to see it all laid out. And they're finding that the most people uh they stop the buying process somewhere at the preview. Like they see your product and then they go to, and they used to think that it was that they landed on your product page, then they read the description, and then they went to the preview. But they're finding that's not the case with their research. They don't read your description, they just go to the preview. And if the preview's good, they buy the product. And if the preview's bad, they don't. This is like all of their research is they're trying to figure out like how can we beat the AI, the new search engines, what can we do? And they're like, the first thing is, I think they said 60% of TPT products don't have previews. Only 40% do. And when they're looking at people with lower sales or sales that have dropped, it's the people with bad previews or no previews. So they're seeing this positive correlation between previews and sales. And they've never really gone off about that a lot before. But this would be like, I would say half the sessions I went to, they're dropping the whole preview thing, right? Like, I mean, they really want you to walk away with, like, if you don't have a preview, you're not going to sell that product. People just aren't going to buy it. And you should be giving teachers a reason to buy it in the preview. Like not only showing the whole product and what they get, but giving them lots of reasons to buy. Basically, your preview should be your sales page. And then they're finding also now with all the different AI search engines, everything's changing with Google search. They're finding that the first 300 words of your product listing is pretty much all that they're, like they're grabbing for these search engines now for getting answers of things. And so, yeah, those first 300 words, you should not upsell any other products. You should not be linking to other products or mentioning other products or having any links that first 300 word snippet of your product listing. It should just be very, very clear, and it should include all the words that teachers search. Example, you have something for sixth grade. In your first 300 words, it should say sixth grade with a six. And then in another sentence, you should say sixth grade starting with an S, like spelling it out. You should have both sixth grades, and you should also have grade six because, like, as they're finding, most people are searching grade level first. So they're searching six with a number, six with all letters, and then they're searching grade six. It's really, and so they're just trying to figure out like what can we do to make sure that people are finding TPT, they're finding the products, and they're getting, and also they don't want AI to start generating products for people. So how can they circumnavigate that and have it be, and it's just being really, really specific about your grade levels and exactly what you can do for the teacher in that first paragraph. So those are some of my big takeaways where I was like, wow, like anyone, like everyone should know this stuff. It should be that this should be common knowledge. Like if they want to, increase sales for the website as a whole and want everyone to succeed, then everyone should be doing previews and everyone should be fixing their first paragraph to include everything. And one thing I think I told you, because you do ELA stuff, is that as the year goes on, people change the spelling of language. Like sometimes they write ELA, sometimes they write English language. And then by the end of the year, sometimes they just write LANG. And I was like, what? And they're finding through all their research is that in May and in June, teachers are they kind of get lazy with the search. And it's all about thinking about what do teachers search for when they're trying to find you? Like, what is it going on in their brain? And in the beginning of the year, teachers are writing incomplete sentences, they're using bigger words, but by the end of the year, they're using slang. And that's really, really interesting. Keep both in mind when you're doing your product descriptions. And even the big sellers are changing their titles. They change their titles a little bit at the end of the year to reflect what the teachers are searching for. And now, if you go to your dashboard, there's a bunch of keywords, keyword bubbles, and it tells you all the keywords the last, like, whatever time period you want that people have been searching. So, and it's not a very good indicator right now because summertime is low and people aren't having the best sales, but it'll start to ramp up soon. So, those are some of my big takeaways, and just how they're fighting AI to increase sales. That is their one goal. Anything else? Anything else you want to know? What else?
Well, I mean, I asked about the best session, but you went to my next question and answered it. What were your biggest takeaways? So the best session was the one about the freebies and trying to make money from your freebies, right? Is that the one that was the best?
I had like three or four best sessions that are hard to, I mean, compete with each other.
Yeah.
Uh, like my buddy Ashley Bible was just hilarious and funny, and she talked about money mindset and just like the idea of like, scarcity versus like modern day comforts that bring you a lot of joy and increase your productivity. And she also recommended a lot of really great books. And I mean, I really liked her vibe. But then I did go to a really great session about these freebies, right? And I was like, wow, like I should double check my freebies and just see what I could do to improve them. And then I also went to this AI session about using like AI agents. And basically, I thought agents was some crazy thing. And it's really just you opening up extra chat windows under a project where you have like one data set that all your chat windows are able to access. And you're just dealing with like different topics in each one of those chat windows. And I feel like it's almost like people do this anyway. Like a lot of people do shopping lists and cooking recipes, and they have like this cluster of chats going that all have the same topic ideas. And it's sort of like, you just keep it all for your business in this one project folder, at least for Claude. And they did tell us that Claude is the best right now for analyzing your business statistics. Claude is doing really good, but apparently there's some other ones that are on Claude's tail. And but the last 3 months, Claude has been listed as the best AI tool. But that's only in the last 3 months. And in 3 months from now, it might change again. So it's hard staying up with AI as it changes so rapidly. So that was really cool too. It's like the AI session blew my mind. The freebies opened my mind. I also went to a photo session and I learned to use this thing called Snapseed to take pictures of pieces of paper. It sounds really silly, but when you're trying to take product photos, like there's nothing more boring to me than paper laying on a table, even if it has cool pens around it and paper clips, and like taking those stock photos is so stupid and so boring and I hate it. But this was really good. This was like gave us a lot of ideas on what to do, and a lot of it was learning to use the app called Snapseed to make it look really good. And I learned a lot in that one. Anyone that I learn a lot in is going to be one of my favorites, or that makes me laugh. Those are the two things I look for. Learn a lot and make me laugh, and I'll rate you very high.
Well, is Snapseed? I have a question about Snapseed. Is it paid? How much is it?
Snapseed is free.
Okay.
And then she also talked about this other app called The Color Story. And apparently you had to be grandfathered into that app and it's not free anymore, but you could do like a 3-day free trial and it's pretty inexpensive. So she went over how to use both. But since I just have so many apps, I just stuck to Snapseed and it's totally free. Like there's nothing that costs money on Snapseed. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then she showed us exactly what settings to use to like make, your products, like you can pick individual colors and make them brighter or less bright. You can fix the white backgrounds of your sheets of paper to be like right now, if you guys are on YouTube, like Amanda's screenshot is really white and brighter than my screenshot. It's weirding me out. So I would use Snapseed to fix my white background to match Amanda's. I know how to do that now. It's so easy. And I take a lot of pictures of books for my job, and I actually was able to talk to the presenter, and I told her that. I think her name is the Techie Chick. And I was like, yeah, I actually am a librarian. I take a lot of pictures of books. And so this is really going to help me with my job too, because I take a lot of pictures of pages of things. And so, yeah, any kind of tech skills that I can learn. Obviously, I'm a big fan of that, is I do like technology.
Yeah,
What's
this
another
is
question?
well, this is so helpful, and I'm like taking notes. And I'm sure people watching or that didn't get to go to the conference, like it's just really nice to be able to hear some of like your favorite takeaways and sessions. And one other question I had, well, okay, I have a few more. So one of them is, did you hear anything that surprised you?
Um, yeah, a lot of it just that TPT is very aware of AI and what's going on with AI. And they have a plan to, work against, like AI from, because everyone's saying, like, oh, why are teachers going to pay for teachers pay teachers when they can just go on AI and create activities now and lesson plans? Like, why are they going to do that? And a lot of it is like, learning how to defeat the AI search engines, the new, like when you go to Google, it used to give you all these websites, and teachers pay teachers would often be a website it would give you, like when you asked a question, like, I'm a first grade teacher, what should I teach the first week of school, right? That's what people are asking right now. And so there's a way of kind of like beating it, or like you use like AI's favorite kind of text and website design. And like TPT is going to make a whole bunch of website answers to questions. So people will land on like basically a landing page for any teaching question. You'll somehow land on the TPT blog, and then you'll be reminded of all these cool products that have to do with what you want. And so it's just a way, like a different way of like, I didn't know that blew my mind. I just didn't know that there was any way to beat AI. I thought that AI was taking over and that, TPT was going away. And they really assured us, they're like, TPT is going to be here 20 years from now. We're going to make sure of it. And also, this company called IXL bought TPT a few years ago. And they're like, a lot of people think we were going to sell TPT, but we're never going to sell TPT. Never, 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 never. This is your permanent home, is with us, and we are investing in you for long term. And we will see all of you here 20 years from now doing the same conferences and trying to make money on Teachers Pay Teachers. Like, we believe in you. Another thing that shocked me at the conference, I was not expecting this. Um, so there was about 900 people there. There's usually like 1,000, so there's a little less than usual. And they asked the room, like, how many of you are like teaching in a classroom right now? And it was about 60% of us, like over half of the people. And in my mind, like they've asked that before, and I've been one of the few that still is working. And it always makes me feel bad because I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone's like way more successful than me, and they've all quit teaching to be full-time teacher entrepreneurs. But I think the opposite is happening, where a lot of people are, they're having to go back to the classroom. And also, maybe some people who have already left, they're kind of done with the conferences. So there seemed to be this new wave, at least at this conference, where I didn't feel so alone. I was like, oh, I'm in the majority. I'm a full-time teacher. I teach all day long, 180 days a year. And everyone in here, like, I mean, it was like 60 to 70% more people than not were full-time teachers. And that really like, I feel like they've asked that before, and it's been like a real bad turnout where it's like, oh, like I'm one of the minor, like is this really teachers pay teachers anymore, or is this like entrepreneurs get paid from teachers, right? And so that was really surprising. I was like, wow. And then I actually met a whole bunch of people here in Las Vegas that like live here too, And they went like a lot of them have new stores or are new sellers, and they just were mildly curious about it. But it was interesting talking to locals, and then just almost everyone I ran into was still a teacher, or some of my friends I was hanging out with, they're newly retired. Like the one of my besties, Nancy, at this, she just taught third grade for like 37 years, like almost 40 years. 37 years of teaching, and she taught third grade the whole time. I mean, this lady's an expert. Like, it blew my mind. Like, I was like, wow. I mean, so it felt really good. Like, once I saw that, I don't know why, but like something changed in me where I felt like good about Teachers Pay Teachers again. Like, it's not just all these like millionaire entrepreneurs doing it. Like, I felt really good about it, and it was exciting. I felt like I belonged again. And I don't know why. Like I don't know what's going on.
Well, what's Nancy's store? Because if anyone teaches third grade and they're like, I want a product from a woman who's taught for 37 years, like, let's
Yes.
shout it
Well,
out.
I
Like,
want to get her exact store name right, but she's basically the Apple Basket teacher.
okay. Well,
Um,
and while you're looking, I just want to
I'll
say
look it up
something.
real quick.
I think
Yes.
that some of the best products that I ever created were the products because I've been in and out, right? Like, and I've done part-time.
Yeah.
I mean, I did teach, I mean, I would say 14 years full-time. And some of the best products that I ever created that make me the most money are the products that I created during my hardest years as a teacher. It's like sometimes I think when you're going through so much like challenge, it makes you like a better teacher, and you
Yeah.
start to create things that are different and like reach kids that seem unreachable. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think
But
that I
I
respect those
all
teachers so much that are full-time and doing TPT. Like that takes an amazing person and work ethic.
Yeah. And I mean, I also think like retirees that have been doing it for so long
Yeah.
after retire. I mean, like
Well, they
Nancy,
deserve to
she,
retire sooner than
yeah, she's
37 years.
even she's even said she hasn't really made that much for her TPT store the last 10 years because, she got cancer. She takes
Wow.
care of her grandson who, like she's his guardian. She has a whole, like, I mean, it was stressful being a teacher, right? But I do respect people's like retirees, like their knowledge and their background knowledge. But yeah, they actually talked a lot about like if you're still a teacher and you go home from this conference, how do you keep this piece of like you conference me versus like teacher me, right? Like, how do you integrate the two and see some success? Because it's so hard being a teacher. And
Yeah.
they gave us like this 10-day plan, and they were talking about like, how do you do it? How do you find the time to do Teachers Pay Teachers when you're a teacher? And this is like the first year that I remember them really breaking it down and saying exactly what you need to do. That was the ending keynote speech by Erin Waters. And she was basically like, like, I mean, first of all, you need to have like one big thing that's going to be your thing to work on. You can't work on 20 projects, or each project will get 1/20th of you. You
Hmm.
can't work on 12 projects, or each project gets a 12th of you, right? Like you work on one project. That's it.
No, it's like chasing
Don't,
one rabbit. You're always
yeah, the
saying that.
chase,
And
yeah.
I'm always like,
And
but no, but why?
yeah, she's like, you cannot, you can't, you just do the one thing. That's it. And then she's like, once you decide on your one thing, you really need to look at your life and like how you can find the time to work on the one thing, right? And I mean, there's even a book called The One Thing,
But
right?
that's like the
But like,
hardest choice.
yeah,
How do
it
you
is.
make
And
that choice? Did she talk about how to
she
make that
did.
choice? How?
Yes.
Tell
Yeah.
me
She
now.
said, she said, pay attention to yourself, like, especially when you're driving or you're going somewhere. And like, what's that one idea that keeps like popping into your head that you know is like so good? Like, it's the idea that you're willing to like pull off to the side of the road and write in a notebook so you don't forget. Like, it's the kind of idea that keeps popping up again. And she even told us her idea that she had. And I know her story very well. She actually got in the New York Times with this idea, right? Like she created this math game bundle, and it's still these math games are still like 70% of her profits. And she sold them hundreds of thousands of times. But it was the one thing that, like, she has all these product ideas flowing in her head, a million product ideas, but it was that one that kept coming back to her. And it was the one where she was driving home one day and she was like, oh, I got to pull off the side of the road and write this down, or I got to make a voice note in my phone, or I got to text my group chat and tell them what I'm doing, or I have to tell my husband tonight what I want to do. It's that one thing that, one, you want to tell other people about, two, you want to write it down, three, it keeps popping up in your head. And if you pay enough attention to your thoughts and your activities and who you talk to, it's gonna become obvious what
But
it
okay,
is.
but does she mean like one product or one product
Yeah.
line or one
Well, yeah, the one,
project? Like, what do you mean
well,
one thing?
it should be the product that you want to make and sell,
That's
like the
okay. So the one
product.
product that you keep thinking
Yeah.
about and you're excited
And
about.
obviously, if it's a smart product, it's going to lead to a product line, right?
Yeah.
Like you're going to make more and more of that type of, like, she made this math game and made it for one standard. And then she did the next standard, the next standard, the next standard. Then she went to the next grade and did the next standard and basically like made this whole like game in this one, so it's that one thing that you keep thinking about. But you do have to start with somewhere. Like, what is the first product going to be of that? Like, if you have a general idea, you got to pick the one product to start with. What's it going to be? And so I listened to her and I did keep having like this product idea like come to me. It's come to me probably like dozens of times over the last few years,
Wait,
right?
let's
It's
make our
huge.
next episode about our one thing that keeps coming
I
up. And
know, but I don't want to tell anyone about it 'cause I don't want anyone to steal it. You know what I
oh,
mean?
you think someone would steal it?
Yeah, for
Hmm.
sure.
So is
Because
it
guess what?
what?
I searched my product and it doesn't exist. So that's why I don't really want to tell anyone until I start making it,
Okay,
right?
but
And
there's
then
that
everyone's
other
gonna know.
thing that we talked about at the beginning of the summer, at the end of your school year, and we recorded an episode about this idea that you had about picture books and like it was the library thing.
That
It's
is my one thing. Yeah,
oh,
it does have
you
to do with
recorded we
picture books.
recorded a past episode about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my thing.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just
No one's gonna copy
yeah.
you.
Well, I'm telling you that when I search what I want to do, that does not exist when I
Okay,
search the
but you're you and no one can replace or
I
repeat
know, but I'm
the way
still
you
not going to go into many details because I'm nervous about someone stealing.
sure, sure, sure. Um, yeah, no, I understand that for sure. And
Now, have you had any products that just like keep bouncing into your head?
oh
Like a
yeah. Well, and it's usually stems from my best-selling products. And that's one thing you told me on Voxer, one of the takeaways that you had from the conference was sort of capitalizing on what's already working for you. And that's one thing that I've learned a lot through YDP is like what is already making you money and how can you um, take that idea and adapt it to another type of product. And yeah, and so mine are like the things that sell the most in my store are like, well, right now my mafia game, the murder mystery game, and then also the government simulation. So like, and that is kind of my thing, and I think it's your thing too, is making learning really fun. And it sounds like Aaron Waters making math fun through math games. But I'm really passionate about like community building and like teaching about neurodivergence and just like having fun in classrooms. And so, yeah, the one thing that keeps coming to me, and I already sort of I made a truth or dare game. So like making fun games that kids play outside of school, a school type of game that's like a community building. Like, so yeah, that's sort of what came to me. But I have so many other things that I'm passionate about that kind of like I'm trying to write a book, and like our last episode was about ebooks and making money on ebooks. And are there ebooks on Teachers Pay Teachers? Do you know? And you're talking about writing a book too. So it's hard to pick
Yeah.
one thing, that you're like going to work
Yeah.
on
But
constantly.
you gotta pick the one thing or you're not gonna feel the success, you know? And yeah, I actually went to a bunch of sessions on what you're talking about. Like there were two sessions kind of about that. One was how to capitalize on your best-selling product.
Yeah.
What you do to, and the first, obviously the first tip is like making more like it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
But there was more you could do to it to make it like beefier, up the price, like a lot that you can do to it to sell more of it. And then of course just making a whole bunch just like it, like these community games, and then making a community games bundle. I mean, that's how people make the money is they make a bunch of the same kind of product and bundle it together. And that was one of the tips for the seller advisory board is this one guy was like, yeah, people don't realize like the power of bundles. Like you could literally bundle everything in your store and just set it as like one really high price and put it in your first four little products and like as your featured products. And he did that. They all the people on the seller advisory board have done something like that where they have four, five, six, $900 bundles, right? And they do sell a few times a year. And imagine how amazing it is when they actually sell. So that's the thing is like you just, like a lot of people get in their own way and think, "Oh, I couldn't do that. I can't just bundle every single thing in my store and put it as one big bundle." Well, you can, and a lot of people do.
And you can
So,
make a
I
lot of
mean,
money off of that. Yeah. Like I took all of my writing units and I bundled them all, and it's like really expensive. It's like $250. And when
yeah.
one person buys that, even at like one person in an entire year, I mean, that's $250. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And have you sold it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I think I
crazy.
did that. I only did that a few years ago, where
Yeah.
but I did want to go back. I know we only have like 5 more minutes, but I wanted to go back to the whole idea that TPT is going to be here 20 years from now. And I'm starting to believe that more because the more that I use Claude, um, and Claude, like, there's always new versions, right, coming out. And Claude just came out with a new version that creates really nice slides. Like they're nice looking. I don't know if you played around with it, but it's still not good enough. You know what I mean? And so there's like all this hype around AI and that it's going to replace everything. But like, I think it's just hype from the Silicon Valley CEO guys. And like, really, like, I don't know, like, is it really that great? And like, when teachers go to like ChatGPT, which is what most teachers that aren't on TPT are using, right? Even when you ask ChatGPT to create stuff for you, it's not good enough. It just isn't. It's not good enough. And so people do that. They go ask, ChatGPT, come up with discussion questions for this topic that I have to teach tomorrow or whatever. And then it's like, okay, that's good. But like, I also need like a sheet for my students to fill out, and then they're going to go over to TPT and start searching, keywords related to whatever they just asked. So I do think that teachers are using AI, but they're using it in like they're using it with TPT, like there's both, and they can both exist together.
Yeah, and teachers do really like connecting to people that are experts and that have teaching
Mhm.
experience. I mean, like, I think about my picture book stuff, right? I mean, I literally read picture books to 1,000 students a week. Nobody can really replicate that unless they also have my same job. Like I'm getting feedback from 1,000 students every 8 days. I mean, that's crazy. Like, that is the kind of feedback that teachers want. I know what books hit and what books miss. And if you ask Claude or ChatGPT for book recommendations, like I do all the time, half of those books are garbage. They're not good. I mean, you need real humans doing the work to understand what is actually like what works with kids is
Yeah.
not what they think. Like they've recommended some really bad books to me. I'm like, ugh. I mean, and I my first week last year in school, I use all ChatGPT book recommendations, and I had never been so bored in my life. There's only one book out of the six that I liked, and the other five were trash. They were not good books. I'm embarrassed that I read all of them just because I just wanted to have something easy, right? But once I read them to the kids, boring. And
Yeah,
so, I mean, you still need people
yeah.
you need actual real kids or people that are around real kids to help you, like, like with what actually works.
Yeah, yeah. AI, I don't think is ever going to be good enough, like as good as a real human. Like I really, like for a while, I was kind of creeped out that maybe, but I just don't think so because it's always going to be a robot and a machine. Even sometimes, like I'll have Claude try and be me, like because I'm just messing around with it. Like, what can you do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, talk like me. Like, here's how I write. Try and write like me. It can't do it. Like
Oh.
it really can. I'm just like this.
And
I keep
it's
using
getting
this
smarter and
stupid
smarter.
phrase. Like
Yeah.
this is why this matters. Like there's certain phrases that AI uses that are so annoying, and I'm like, could you just stop saying that? Or like if it tries to sound like me, it'll just insert a bunch of ums. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't need you to say
Yeah.
for me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I have been experimenting a lot, like trying to test its abilities, and
Yeah.
like it just over and over again, I mean, yes, it's powerful and it's useful, but it doesn't really meet the expect or like meet the standards or whatever that the hype had for so long. So this is great news that TPT is like, we're going to be around
They're
forever. Don't
invested.
worry.
They believe in teachers. And you know what? I did this long survey about every single session. Like I answered 40 questions. The last question was, are you still a teacher? And I'm like, yes. Are you still working full time in a public school? Yes. How do you feel about this school year coming up? Can you tell us about your life as a teacher? So
Mhm.
like I thought it was kind of charming that like I went to this business conference and they asked me all these questions about the business conference, but then the last question was they really wanted to know about what my life is as a teacher and what feelings am I having going into this school year, what's going on in my district, how am I doing? And I mean, that's like so important, that I mean, they actually, after the conference, I was like, had a new love for TPT. Like, they actually really do care about teachers.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome. That's
it
really
is.
awesome. All right.
Okay.
Hooray, TPT. We love you.
Yay.
All right. Should we end it?
Yes.
Okay. Let's say all of our goodbyes. Namaste. Ciao.
Namaste.
Adios.
Ciao.
How do you say
Choose.
choose? Okay. Yeah.